All right, let's get into it. Good afternoon. It is Thursday, May 28th, 2026. Got a heck of a program here for you today. I hope I'm coming in loud and clear. I did a bunch of moves yesterday and today. We have a massive, rampant, throttling bull market here globally. It's absolutely astounding. I did just have Rocco, the all-time high Maltese dog here. He just ran upstairs probably to pee on my shoes, I presume. Let's get real fast over portfolio moves that the system deployed. Yesterday's moves first. I bought the airlines, bought jets, bought IYR real estate, bought ARK Genomics, ARKG, biotech, similar fund. This is Kathy Wood's basket of tech, or of a genomic fund, rather. And I actually have a bid in right here to Pyramid as we speak because it's doing very well. It's actually one of our charts that we're going to look at. And also got back, as a part of uncorrelated alpha, adding some options here. Did buy the June EWT 105 calls yesterday and also bought the XLY 124 call. So yes, somewhat had some correlation through the Turtles portfolio, but not exact. So deployed, getting into those near dated options. And my target for that, by the way, is to get out by the end of next week. And also bought solar this morning. And I believe bought more solar this morning. So things are really going well. One of the individual constituents in there is absolutely going insane. I believe First Solar is up like 7%. So TAN is ripping as well. Also, programming note, I will be out the week of June 8th. And also, if you're out in New York City, again, promoting, we're actually getting a bunch of registrations on Eventbrite. So come on out. I'm going to go through charts. It's going to be a conversation. It's going to be great. June 17th at Ulysses. All right, let us get into, we did the portfolio moves. Let me get into a lot of stuff here. This is a historic day and week. There's stuff coming out of Iran and, positive, negative, whatever. I pay attention to the charts. Let's get into it. This is all you know. This is what the market is doing right now up to the second. Today, defense tech, obviously space. Everyone is going insane on space. I am in the UFO ETF. It is doing spectacular through Rocket Lab and AST Mobile. There's, these traders are, 3 years ahead of you. So space is the future, and it's having a big week ahead of the correlation of the SpaceX IPO that's coming out. And there's a rumor that, SpaceX is merging with Tesla and all this other stuff. So just stay along the cycle. Don't be in cash. There's fun things going on. Genomics, a big day today. We'll take a look at that. And software. These are the things that are ripping 3% today. That's what they're buying into all-time highs. And look at this. I hate to say this, but they're actually, this is a more than one sigma move. They are selling Bitcoin and Ethereum, both down 2% today. Ethereum actually one of the weakest ETFs in all the land. They're getting liquidity out of Bitcoin. We'll take a look at the charts. I know they've had multi-year drawdowns before, more than 12 months, but I really do want to have some sort of a moratorium for Bitcoin. If we're still at October 1st or October 5th, technically a year from the high, and we're under 90K, it just looks like to me AI really took a lot, obviously, of the capital and any kind of growth prospects, since everyone is straight snorting, as I've been saying, growth. Bitcoin's not giving it to them right here. So Bitcoin's going to Bitcoin. I get it. It can have a wonderful 2028. But I wrote an article in January, I believe, or February, about Bitcoin slumping to 55K through July, and then having a nonlinear rally. And I still think that's in the cards. And I'm usually not that good of a predictor, but it just looks bad. We'll take a look at the charts. New all-time highs for the Qs, SPY, IWM. Look at that broad. Obviously, these are birds of a feather. But when you get IWM participating, that's wonderful. That's small caps, obviously. South Korea, new all-time high, and then tech. So folks are loving the growth prospects of tech. And I know it's Thursday, but I can't do a video tomorrow. So we're going to do a week look back. And guess what? This week was all about the past 5 trading sessions up till right now live. 12% in 1 week in 1x ETFs in South Korea, Taiwan, and semis. So obviously that's why folks are trading 3x semiconductors ETFs and 3x South Korea if you can find the liquidity on it, because you can get 36% on a week like this if obviously there's no tracking error drag fee component. So a massive week. I was in obviously in SOXX. I'm in calls in EWT, and I've been long on young South Korea. Absolutely love y'all. Let's get to the end. There is so much going on. My goodness, golly, Miss Molly. All right, let me do the screen share. You should be. That's not. Give me un momento por favor. You have a ticker, put it in, but I'm just going to assume it's higher. So here we go. Micron up 2%. This is obviously like, close to a meme. They were doing a big thing on CNBC, I think it was yesterday, about companies, how fast it took to get to $1 trillion. It took pretty much every company, years. I think it took Micron like a couple of months. So obviously, the idea is folks are just going to sell it, almost like pump it, and then they don't want to be left holding the bag. These guys are sold through, I believe, 2028, and they're doing 50% price increases or something year over year, and that's why folks are snorting this from basically $80 to $900. Stock's insane, it's insane. Q's up 1%. AMD up 5%. This thing's north of $500 now. Pick a semi, any semi. It's going higher. You need the chips. The AI spend is real, and they'll lay off, a tenth of the company to make the ROI work. Hate to tell you. Microsoft up 3%. The SOXX 3X ETF, which a lot of people are addicted to, is up 6%. Marvell up 4%. Intel flat one day. Snowflake had a ridiculous earnings report last night. This up 38%. Today, 38%. They're monetizing AI agents. They're seeing some payback from what I can tell. Is Snowflake a massive beat, and they have a big partnership with AWS, so that is lifting a software, obviously, and we'll get to the IGV. This is a major culprit. Palantir up 5% after having a lousy day yesterday, a really bad day the other day. Multiple Sigma loser today up 5% with the rising tide lift all ships of defense tech, which of course Palantir is the poster child of. Broadcom, as I said, aforementioned, pick a semi, any semi up 1.1. Intraday tape, my goodness. I think there was some news that they were ironing out a deal with Iran for a 60-day ceasefire. That would be legitimate. You'd have the summer off, and the market said, what now? And that came out around 10 a.m. It lifted SPY from 750 to 754. They said, wait a second, Iran did not confirm this news. At around 10:30, they took the future SPY back down to about 751, and then the market honestly did not care, and we're hitting highs as we speak right here, right now. 754.57 right here live, the richest the SPY components have ever been. Yes, volume is dropping. Very low volume day. We're on pace for about 35 million shares of SPY, which is down from a 46 average for the past month. So that's typical for bull markets to have, run out of buyers, if you will. That's the end of bull markets, but typical on bull runs, if you get what I mean. I'm not expecting massive volume. These candles look redonkulous. As I said, I am feeling the buying calls environment. I'm not saying zero DTEs. You're going to have indigestion, so sometimes it's going to happen, like what happened yesterday. But that's as bad as yesterday got. We were down 0.02. But as I said, I'm a big cycles guy, and for me, this is not a normal cycle. The rubber band's going either which way very powerfully. But in terms of dates, which I do follow, I saw bullishness lasting on or around about the 7th of June, which is the following Monday. So end of next week, early of the following week, the week I'll be out with a target of around like 750, honestly, 755. I said if folks get absolutely, bulled out, which they are. 73 RSI is confirming that trend. We've been green every day since the 19th, -1. It was, a very small loser. So there's a lot of bullishness in the market. The ceasefire thing is literally adding fuel to the fire of bullishness. So I like it. We are going to be, bullishly accumulating shares across. I'm in many different areas here: real estate, biotech, South Korea, uncorrelated. We're almost getting to the every squirrel gets a nut type market. And again, look at this, how extended we are. The RSI above 60 since April 10th. So we are looking at almost 6 weeks here, essentially, or whatever that is, going almost 2 months, because I expect this to happen, to continue. Just amazing strength. So that's where we are on the intraday. Any pullbacks, like I said, into, early to the mid part of June, rather, should probably take you to about that 735 level. And that's going to set up invitation for more buying, it seems. JP Morgan had a thing, and they know a thing or two about pricing. Said the S&P has like a very valid, I think more than 60% shot of going to 9,000 next year. And I thought I wasn't bulled up enough. And I don't disagree with them, actually. So that's why you guys stay along the cycle. The direction is more important than, exactly time. And that's why the compass was invented before the clock. Boom, facts only. You're welcome. So 736, I see that as your next drop. You're going to want to buy that as we go higher. Let me tell you today where they are getting into institutionally due to the conviction of the moves, and your boy is as well for the most part in some assets. let's see. Number one, they're loving this today. They're basically, I mean, my interpretation of this was like they're not, the market's not really caring about the escalation regardless of what happens in Iran. They're leveling up and saying, you know what, U.S. will just get bigger and stronger. This group, Defense Tech, peaked in January 20th, when we had the whole Venezuela capture that started 2026, peaked at $78. And then this thing, guess when this fell? It wasn't the day of the ceasefire. It was actually 2 weeks later, April 23rd, this fell really on hard times, and it's still been living under purgatory. It's just gotten above 50 RSI for the first time. Great looking candle today, up 3% on a potential, 2-month ceasefire. It's being gravitated towards the 200-day moving average, which is at 68.80. It's $1.10 away. Great looking candle on the day. Like I said, I'm globally bullish on most assets for at least the next week here. This has gotten through the resistance at 66. That's been impressive. Don't forget, it troughed here and hit a bottom at $62, which was the equivalent of its Christmas time low here 6 months ago. And now it's trying to resume a rally, rising 200-day. Don't forget, look at this chart. This thing was untouchable until April 24th. So you remember, SPY had a 3-week bull market or a 3-week bear market correction, whatever you want to call it, back in March, April. And now we've come zooming back. This is those kinds of conditions to me when you have a horrible, 4.5 weeks, and then you resume, you get oversold, and then you come back up. I could definitely see it. The hold for me, just straight up mathematical, would be 3 to 5 closes above 68.80. That is $1.10 away. Ways to play. It's not really a breakout, so I wouldn't really, play this, but the candle looks great, especially if it garners strength and holds above 67.22 today. It tells me the buyers are for real. That's SHLD today. They're absolutely loving it. Let me look into what I bought. ARKG, I bought this, and I'm pyramiding as we speak. Beautiful looking chart. Looks like it's obviously coming for the 52-week high right here, struck on January 22nd at 34.39. I bought this one yesterday, and I'm pyramiding due to this godlike candle today. Up 5% are the biotechs, in a bit of a relief of rates today. Bonds are up, and like I said, we're addicted to growth here as we all become a degen nation or world. I'm looking at you, South Korea. So this looks like, this looks like it wants to go. It's had a massive day. My target, factually, is around $33. That's why I have an ATR trailing stop. So I just want to be long the cycle. We're getting onto what I haven't seen in a little bit in some assets. Look at this price discovery for ARKG going back to October 20th, back when Bitcoin was over 120K. We're right here again. So this has basically done a whole lot of nothing. And if we're all-time highs everywhere, you're getting a breakup from a former area plus overbought, not sold all year. They love this group. If you remember, biotechs, yes, it peaked in January. Once this group goes, it really goes. I'm happy to be in it. I'm pyramiding as we speak. This thing was $28 9 days ago, and now it's closing in at $34. This is a basket. Okay, this isn't one stock of biotechs. And of course, yes, look at the green candles. Hasn't had a one red down day. It's like the New York Knicks since May 19th. Actually, the Knicks are having more green days. I don't think they've lost since it was mid-April. So that is ARKG. I love it. Your boy is in it and literally pyramiding as we speak on the success it's had. And number 3, what they're loving today, software. Let's look at this. I started a newsletter over the death of software, essentially. And look at this. I don't care about this. Obviously, folks are getting into it because it's a laggard. I don't care about it until, like I said, similar to what I just said about SHLD, to prove itself. And that's from a winning profile where they didn't even think about selling it for just the past 4 weeks. They've been selling it systematically, programmatically, methodically since mid-November. Okay, so quite a different profile. We're now being magnetized towards a falling, heavy 200-day moving average, which I'll round for simplicity's sake at $99, which is $4 away. The group bottomed April 10th at $75, a massive $20 run. I respect it. If I needed exposure in garbage, this would be the first place I look. I just don't like I won't call it garbage. One thing I will say, since April 14th, the week after the ceasefire, it has held a 50 neutral 50 RSI, and much of it recently above 57. So there has been appetite. I just think this one, due to the gains and the growth in other areas, I don't think software is going to go significantly higher. I think it's going to be honestly somewhat tethered to $91 over the next 2 weeks, and it's going to have a lid ceiling at 99. So strangles do come out if you want to sell those, but it's a little bit of a spicy trade, I guess. You could probably sell the 99 calls and then sell the 80. It's asymmetric. Probably sell like the 80. I didn't look at this closer. Puts, and they just sell vol against it, considering that I'm expecting for the worst potentially to be over short term and then form a long rectangle. But I think there's better trades. I think it probably gets to this and gets to the Chembade. Again, this has not closed above its 30 moving average since New Year's Eve 2025. So software has to show me a heck of a lot more. Speaking of showing me a heck of a lot more, all-time high all over the world, South Korea, you name the place essentially. Bitcoin, a multiple sigma mover lower. What the heck is going on? Down 2%. Bitcoin, oh my goodness. Bottomed February 5th. We weren't even in a war then. It was at $35. This has not closed above a 200 moving average since election day. Oh my God. And here we are. Again, I didn't care about this. I said, get to 200. Show me something. Worst, the best it could do was it got to 47 and then whimpered, and now you see this yo-yo off the table. Bitcoin not looking good here. Why are we talking about it? Because I said they are selling it off today, 2.1%. I do expect this to find a bottom in the near term. I would say in the next week, I expect this to finally bottom at $41. Good looking candle today. Ironically, I'm saying that because it's 3 hours to go in trading, but the bottom, I'm sorry, VWAP was 41.40, and they are above that. So some buyer stepped in. I don't know if it was a reverse Jane Street 10 a.m. rug pull but again, and the fall off. I don't like what I've been seeing with growth assets in the last 10 days. Bitcoin has really fell out of bed. So we'll look at this again. Ethereum is actually one of the worst places to be in all of ETF land. They're obviously seeking funds. This is just a pathetic run that it's had since November. That's IBIT. Ways to play it. I would want to see it stick the bottom that you could sell the 41 puts. You probably do get paid to do that. And I would probably do that June. And you're really, I'm not saying this is going to go to the moon. Space stocks are going to the moon. But really just banking on the fact that you get a dead cat balance. And honestly, it's so weak. It probably gets to 44 and then does this rollover again. But I wouldn't be just straight buying calls because the thing stinks. Number two, biggest loser today, and it's the problem child as well of crypto. Ethereum down 2.2% when I wrote this, now down 2. Hideous. Bottom February 24th. So last I checked, a couple of weeks after Bitcoin at 1362. This ETF, look at this. The most it could muster was getting to 18.5 or so, and now a 15 handle. Pretty much they're very correlated, obviously. But what I said for Bitcoin, it pretty much goes for ETHA. I would expect this to bottom in the next week or so at 15 even. The candle looking promising today in terms of obviously down 2%. I like the fact that it's at least holding VWAP 1506. Maybe you have some positive activity into 4 o'clock. I think you get a dead cat bounce on this to about 16.5, and that's going to be it for Ethereum. And then they move it, again, probably lower. Ugly rollover here too since the 18th, as globally we pour into growth assets. Ethereum is not one of. Just not giving you the return. Folks bought this a lot of time because number go up, me included. That's what data chart visualization is. And it stopped going up. Boy did it. That is Ethereum. Let's pick this up. Top 3 gainers of the past 5 days. If I repeated a chart, we're not going to spend a ton of time on it. Number 1 gainer, my goodness gracious, to new all-time highs today on a bullish engulfing candle. 206.5 is my trigger too, so I'm checking this to buy more. That's insane. This is up 3.5% today. New all-time highs of 14% over the past 5 days for almost 3% a day. Today doing more than that, above a 50 RSI since the day of the ceasefire. Ridiculous breakout above 155 that got you here to 205. This will be, of course, the leader in our year-over-year review. It used to be silver miners, junior silver miners. No, they are going into AI memory. Hynix, I believe, is a $1 trillion company now. It's not just here, Google. It's not just, Apple. It is abroad now, too. Hence, people are buying EM. Simple Ways, EWI, though, is the heart of the storm. The only way, in my opinion, to trade this, yeah, you can do the calls, but I'm talking about a stock way, is the system I've been telling you about. And if you listen to me on Wednesday, you were in this with gains. I told you to buy it then at 199. Keep the 2 ATR stops. You can play it right here, right now. I think it's still going to have a bullish 2 weeks. My target, yes, it's at it right here, essentially 205-ish near term. But these things can stay irrational much longer than you can say, more than your account can say irrational, I guess, is a modification of how Maynard John Keynes said it. But this is a ridiculous candle. Bearish divergence here on that. You do have an all-time high, and you can't get to 70 on the RSI. But our EWI is absolutely insane. It defies gravity. You'd think it was a moon stock or one of those stock ETFs. Yeah, like I said, target was 2 to 205, 206. The ATR live up to the second is $9. If you want to give us a long leash because you have a crazy St. Bernard or Pitbull, whatever your least favorite breed is, I actually like those. It's $18, meaning you get it right here, 205. It goes against you to 180, 788. You get out because it's probably going to 181. You get yourself a better entry. Otherwise, enjoy the gains because I think this is going to be a poster child for the first, for the next 2 weeks. I was presenting on this in January, and it's good to see. Yeah, the price was, back here at 110. So it's just insane what it's done in a short amount of time. Any pullbacks to 180 should be bought. Just insane. EWI, number one ETF in all the land, and the land being the world, up 13.5%. Number two, they're going just a little bit away to Taiwan, up 12% over the past 5 days. I am in the June 105 calls. Not an amazing day for Taiwan, but don't forget these guys put in highs yesterday, simply a digestion day. This is overbought with a 73 RSI. I like that confirmation. My target, like I said, is to get out of these at the end of next Friday. I think this has a decent another week or so to go. I think EWI actually has like another 2 weeks. This looks like it's got a little bit more. Don't forget this rally started here about $91. You almost have like an ABC Elliott wave. I think it has a little bit more of a runway, about another week or so. Hence my exit target right around 103. Closer to 105 potentially with a little blow off top. Today, digestion day, as I said, and again, above 50 RSI since the day of the ceasefire. Your strongest assets are doing just that the institutions rotated into. Other than that, that's about it. Obviously, a lot of this is Taiwan semi, another way to play the semiconductors. Speaking of which, the third best ETF in all the land. So yes, birds of a feather flock together. One way, momentum cuts up, momentum cuts down. Will these pull back? Yeah, at some point. Right now, they're having ridiculous weeks. 10% for the SOXX in the past 5 days, 2% a day. Today, doing just that. Ridiculous RSI since the ceasefire, above 60 and above 50 since about a week before that. Stellar looking chart here. The semis haven't been under a 200-day moving average since last June. With a peak yesterday at 585. Your boy's been in these and pyramiding, I believe, on max position as per turtle rules in the SOXX. This looks like it has another week or two to go to the upside. Target at about, at this point, you just picked the upper Bollinger Band, about 580. So basically get within 1% of what it did yesterday, maybe a little bit more upside because, folks, FOMO is a very, very real thing, as is, the animal spirits. All right, let's keep this going. What are they selling? Top three losers of the past 5 days. We can't have everything go up. They've been liquidating, and I knew it was a sign when I got stopped out of PDBC, USO, the worst place to be this week. Anything positive happening in Iran is immediately negative for oil. It put in its 52-week high the day I appeared on the morning show, and I said 52-week highs are coming for oil, and it happened literally that day at 154, and now we've had a pullback, and now we're under 50 RSI. Look at this. For the first time since January, when just that Venezuela stuff was going on. This was preceded the war by 2 months. We were under 50 RSI. So folks are absolutely cooling their budgets for spending on U.S. oil, saying, calm yourself. Hence why I bought jets, flip side of this trade, two sides of one trade. I still think this is going to be in the penalty box through about the middle to end of next week with a floor of about 125. This, to me, does not look like it's done going lower. You're seeing XOP sell off, obviously, XLE, a lot of BNO, Brent oil. So this does not look like it's done yet. And a break under the neutral 50 RSI looks like it's going lower. It's under VWAP today. Ugly candle yesterday, down 4%. I think positive developments are happening overseas, hence oil going lower, hence global bullish new all-time highs around the world. I think this bottoms are at 125, and then I do think it is a pickup for a move towards 135 to 140 level. But I want to see where it bottoms first. Oil still overall a great looking chart, really constructive, amazing looking since the end of January. So I'm not going to absolutely dog it. But right now, obviously not the place to be. Oil is not the same growth versus a semiconductor. Let's be real. Number two, and I wrote about this yesterday, volatility, the worst place to be. So if you're buying oil, it's almost like you're buying volatility. They had the same returns this week, down 8 to 9%. Today, down 1.5%. Look at that. This is actually a new all-time low in VXX. Okay, so yes, I know it's not the best run fund, and there's borrow, and it's expensive, and the actual VIX on the SIBO is not even hitting 52-week lows. I got it. I still look at this though, and I'll just do it really fast. That is the max chart. This was trading about a risk split adjusted 5,000 smackers during COVID. Okay, and now split adjusted, it is $24 oversold, which we haven't been since the tranquility of mid-January. And now your boy called this a couple weeks ago, new 52-week lows incoming. If you're calling for new all-time highs in SPY, you have to be looking for new 52-week lows in VXX. It's just how the math works from the calculation of the S&P put options. So look for this to bottom. Like I said, if I'm globally bullish for the next week and change, I would be bearish this for the next week and change. I would look for a floor on this. It's exceeding my expectations how much they're liquidating, honestly, volatility. I'd expect it to be down like 8%. I thought it was going to be more of a slower bleed. So to me, the floor was 25. I'm moving the flag post or the goal post down to 20, maybe 24 even. So that'd be another reduction of about 65 cents. I would see volatility to have a floor somewhat, and then any kind of a freak out geopolitically, et cetera, this will have a rally to 27 even. So smaller gains involved. But yeah, your options are very, very cheaply priced, specifically puts, calls, folks are chasing. All right. And lastly, so these had all similar returns. Oil, vol, and Ethereum. Oil, not a ton of growth, but it is a limited commodity, right? Volatility, you're betting on, war and death and apocalypse. Ethereum, it's not what we thought, tokenization, banks are going to adopt this for middle office operations, et cetera. Similar returns. This was down 7% this week. So very similar profile of the others. I already said in the prior piece what I expect of Ethereum, base this week and get a dead cat bounce, but really, really not the place to be if you held any crypto this week. All right, top 3 trades of the past 5 days. If you've been long South Korea, I am. Long Taiwan, I am as of yesterday. And long semis, I've been. Congratulations, you are absolutely destroying the market. You should be up double-digit % this year, like I am and thankful to be. All right. Top 3 trades of the past 52 weeks. Again, if I go over ticker, I'm just going to say, everyone say it at the same time. On Young, EWI up 237% year over year. And that's why I was talking about it easily 6 months ago. The chart looks like, I don't know, if GameStop and Shiba Inu had a baby and they were profitable. That's what this looks like. I guess that's AI memory in a nutshell. EWY, bullish engulfing today. That tells me it's not done. Again, VWAP short-term 202.40. I'm literally pyramiding this probably right after this call. My trigger is just about 40 cents higher from here. Crazy, leading everyone year over year. EWY, allocate some amount to this. It's not done. Okay? That's all I got to say. This is not the top. Okay. Number 2, SOXX. 175%. Again, don't forget, this is different weighted from SMH. SMH is heavier NVIDIA. This is the others that are now catching up. So the Broadcoms, the Microns, you were benefiting due to the cap weight. So everything is a gain within itself due to the actual weighting of the constituents. So I've been in SOXX for a while. Once, NVIDIA was trying to battle holding that 195 floor. Now it's breaking through that 210 ceiling. Maybe I'll revisit SMH again. But this SOXX is where the juice really is due to the magnificent rallies in AMD, Micron, etc. So that's why this is just insane fuel, up 175% year over year. Number 2, SOXX. And look at this, all correlated. So for AI memory, you need semiconductors. And for semiconductors, look at this, you need silver. And that's a number 3rd gainer. No narrative here, just price. I didn't do any tweaking of data. And that's what you can come expect at the Amplified Alpha monthly meetups. I'm going to do basically this. But you're going to participate too. And I'm going to have tequila, so I'm going to participate. And probably the bartender's going to participate. Silver, number 3, up 126%. Obviously, very different chart from the other two. South Korea peaking right now. Semis peaking yesterday. Silver peaked, let me squint here, January 29th at $110. We were talking about silver. I don't think the trade is over. I give a dog a bone when they have a rising 200 moving average like that and it hasn't been touched all year. That's not exactly folks saying, oh, this thing's crap, let me liquidate it here. I do expect this to still be somewhat in the penalty box for the next week or so to put in a cement floor at something as low as $63. I don't think the downside is done. Folks are, as I keep saying, snorting global growth. So I don't think they're interested in bidding the sole commodity yet, silver. Once this gets overbought, then the animal spirits and FOMO thing will be real. The way to trade this, look at that rejection, so clean on May 13th, telling me that this is not ready for $81, and boom, so quick, right to 66. It just got just Dikembe there, like Chet Holmgren. We're gonna get a Thunder Knicks finals. Wow. Looks like. Yeah, another way to do this, it's got such a clean chart, would be a breakout above. I would love to close above $81, and then those highs would be on the way. But silver up 126 year over year. Those are the 3 trades of the year du jour. Allocate to them in some way, and have a wonderful week. End and all.